Right now, Xbox is way behind when it comes to gaming handhelds. So the future of gaming into next generation in terms of the console space is going to be more focused on handheld consoles, on the PC handhelds that PlayStation, I believe, is putting one out. Xbox is going to put multiple out, whether that is through themselves or through third-party manufacturers. You have Steam with SteamOS and Valve putting out their own Steam Deck, plus all of the other handhelds that come out with Windows 11 on it. And even now with the Lenovo Legion Go S having SteamOS on it, it is by far the best operating system right now for handhelds, and it is absolutely blowing away Windows 11 in performance. We got the first comparison here between Windows 11 and SteamOS on a third-party manufactured handheld device. It's not even close. And this is where I think as of right now, Xbox is falling behind. They need to kind of put something out, show something, how they will be improving the operating system on specifically an Xbox handheld or for Xbox PC to entice people to actually want to think about those devices with a dedicated operating system that allows you to access all of your games, whether that's games via the console that you've purchased or games that you currently have on PC, give you good battery life and good performance. Because right now it is not looking very good for Microsoft and for Xbox and for Windows when it comes to gaming on this. We have this article here from Windows Central saying here that it is an embarrassment for Microsoft. SteamOS seems to destroy Windows 11 on gaming performance and battery life, as well as usability. And if you did not know, the Lenovo Legion Go S came out in two variations. It came out with a Windows 11 copy of it, a Windows 11 device, and then it also just is recently going to be coming out here with a SteamOS. I believe this is going to be the first one that is a full partnership here between Valve and a third-party manufacturer to release a handheld with SteamOS on it that isn't the Steam Deck, which, by the way, the Steam Deck is still one of the best ones out there. People say today, just go get a Steam Deck, even with all the other things out here on the market. And I think one of the big reasons for that is because of SteamOS and the optimization that it does provide you when you're playing on these PC handhelds. So here is kind of what is going on. Here is what we are seeing, that Windows 11, obviously the most popular operating system by a large mile, but there's a lot of things here that bring down performance in games. And one of the biggest things that bothers me when it comes to handhelds is the battery life, and Windows 11 absolutely just does not have very good battery life on these handhelds. But here is some comparisons here in terms of games. Dave 2D did this performance comparison. Go check out his video on YouTube between the Lenovo Legion Go S with SteamOS and the Lenovo Legion Go S with Windows. And you can just see here the vast difference. And under the hood, these are the same. I mean, you have here both the Lenovo Legion Go S with Windows 11 having the Z1 Extreme, and then the SteamOS also having the exact same chip on there. So there really shouldn't be huge differences in performance. But you're seeing here Cyberpunk 59 FPS with Steam, 46 with Windows. Helldivers 2 70 FPS with Steam, 65 here with Windows. Doom Eternal 75 FPS with Steam, 66 with Windows. Spider-Man 2, which is oddly the only difference that Windows gets the slight victory here. And again, this is odd because it's a first party PlayStation game, but I guess that's just doesn't really matter here because it is on PC. But it is 63 FPS on the Lenovo Legion Go S with Steam and 64 on Windows. And then The Witcher 3 of 76 FPS and then 66 FPS here on Windows. And then when it comes to battery life, this is where things really make a huge difference. They say running 2D games, Lenovo Legion Go S with SteamOS absolutely destroys Windows, offering slightly over 6 hours of gameplay in indie titles like Dead Cells compared to Windows' middling 2.75 hours. And battery performance on higher end games like Cyberpunk 2077 was relatively similar, but the fact you can grab immense battery gains on graphically light side-scrolling titles is an indictment of the Windows 11's battery efficiency in general. Now, can this be fixed? That is the question, because one of my biggest complaints with these handhelds simply is the battery life. I'm not looking to get top end performance. Honestly, on these handheld devices, I'm sitting there thinking about playing more of these smaller indie titles, more of these side scrolling games that are really, you're not wanting to see every little nitty gritty detail in 3D and get the best resolutions and frame rates where that will actually really improve your experience. I'm there playing lots of games, but lower end games in terms of the power draw and all that they will need to run well. And if I'm not getting at least 4 to 5 hours on those styles of games, that's where these devices to me just kind of become almost useless, because you're going to have to carry around a power charger with you, a battery bank, extended somehow, if you want to have any sort of longer gaming session. To me, a handheld device is to take with you on the go and be able to not have it plugged in for a decent amount of time to get some gaming on flights, things like that. Although you can plug it in on travel, you can plug it in when you're out and you find an outlet. It hinders the overall experience, at least for myself, when it comes to playing with these handhelds. So I'm looking for 4 to 5 hours, and if we can't get that on games like Dead Cells, to me, I'm just not that interested. It would be in picking one of these things up. Now, can be fixed? Can the Windows 11 actually give you good battery life? And this is kind of what it says here. It says the saving grace of Windows 11 has always been compatibility. The kernel level anti-cheat presents issues on some games via Proton and SteamOS, and Windows 11 has full and easy compatibility with every PC gaming launcher on the market, including PC Game Pass, the Riot client, and so on. And that is absolutely an advantage, which is why if they can get something on here that is great OS, easy to use, gives better battery life, it's a huge win, especially if you're going to get access to your Xbox account and all the games that you've purchased on there for the Xbox community, but even for people who are now starting to see the advantages of things like Xbox Play Anywhere. Buying a game once and getting dual entitlement for it, something that is unique here to Xbox. And then obviously the cloud gaming side of things that you get with Xbox Cloud Gaming. And then, of course, Game Pass, which would be a huge advantage that you get everything in there, where you're not getting that with Steam. There are definitely advantages to the Xbox PC space, but it is far behind Steam, and it'll be very hard to catch up if they can't capitalize on things like these PC handhelds that are going to be taking over the market over the next few years and going into the next generation. Now, they say Windows 11 has been subject of increasingly intense criticism over the past few years for baked-in ads into the shell, the privacy-busting telemetry, to bloated features nobody really asked for. And Microsoft's efforts with Windows 11 have arguably fallen below CEO Satya Nadella's previous "we want people to love Windows" comments from earlier on in his tenure, as user feedback seems thrown in the shredder. Now, Microsoft has its own PC-oriented gaming development efforts in the pipeline. So we've heard about Project Kennen, which I believe from all accounts right now is that Asus ROG Ally. That is an Xbox handle with an Xbox button, but I think that one is just going to have an overlay. Kind of what you see when you go to xbox.com/play on your phone or whatever, and you're playing on the cloud. It will just have a nice overlay where you can access your games, but I believe it's still going to be running on that full Windows 11 experience, which to me, if the battery life on that isn't improved, it's kind of useless. It doesn't really add anything to the value of what I'm personally looking for into these next generation of handhelds. But maybe we'll be surprised here coming up at the Xbox Showcase and they show off that custom Xbox operating system that they will be releasing on the next gen Xbox handheld that I believe they will be putting out with an at-home console to give you that full experience. We've heard a lot of rumors. We've heard there could be a dock. They're going to make it similar to the Nintendo Switch, which I think would be pretty smart here. But they need to have a good feeling user interface and user experience for people to really buy into it. I think that is one of the biggest things that is missing right now from the handhelds. They also say here that the next Xbox is known to be more PC oriented than ever, might lean more heavily into bespoke, built for purpose design conventions than Windows 11 all encompassing approach. But, and this is Jess Corden who's writing this, I've been covering Microsoft long enough to keep my expectations in check. And indeed, Windows has something like 70% of market share for desktop operating systems, but so did Internet Explorer in years past. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing here. It is, I think, very eye-opening for people out there who are looking at these handhelds to see just how big of an advantage SteamOS is right now. Will Xbox make a move soon? Will they show off something soon? I'm in the camp that they should be. I know I don't want it rushed. I don't want it to be bad when it does come out. But at this point, because I mean the writing has been on the wall for a while that they are moving into the handheld space. This is where the market is shifting. They've had plenty of time, I think, to start developing something. I think they need to show something off here, or they're going to get to that point of falling behind, and it will be very hard to catch up to SteamOS, which is a phenomenal operating system, and it's only going to get better. This is my thoughts on this. Let me know what you do think about this. Are you looking forward to the next gen handheld? If they don't have a SteamOS style of operating system on it, are you interested at all? Do you care about having the full Windows 11 experience on your PC handhelds? Let me know all that stuff. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.